Hey, welcome to our first PLR Q&A implementation session here, or the other way around, implementation Q&A session. Number one, this is Justin Popovich from Tools for Motivation. Thanks for those of you tuning in live. And if you're watching the recording, well, hopefully you can join us live on the next one so you can ask your questions here while we go through it. I was just queuing this up before I hit record, letting people know that the goal of this is to be fairly informal. Give me a chance to kind of chat with you, answer questions that we've been seeing coming into our help desk or into our inbox in the past. And I'll still do this. I've had phone calls with people where we go through things, but the number of people asking questions has gone up lately. And I still want to have this, the ability for us to have a very conversational style of learning and information exchange. Because I learn just as much from our customers as vice versa. So I want to keep it going. So I thought these kind of sessions, Q&A, will allow us to have more of those conversations and maybe not get held up as much just because I haven't been able to respond to everybody personally in the last 3-4 weeks. So I do thank everybody that's live, that's sending in questions. I've also had some questions sent in advance. So they're here on my slides. I'm just going to kind of go through what I can, have a conversation, again, with the people that are here live. And then we'll just kind of grow and evolve from there. But I do hope I hope you're able to tune in for more of these as we build them out. I think this could really do well for all of us in terms of idea generation, maybe even build a bit of a community where people can exchange ideas amongst each other as well. We have a lot of great business owners that come to Tools Motivation for their content. So so far it's been mostly one directional where I just send stuff out, but there's so many smart people in our world here that I'd like to introduce you guys to each other as well. I think that could be pretty beneficial for everybody. So so what I'll do here is I'm going to just start by reading a couple of the questions that were sent in advance. And then I'm also keeping an eye on the questions that are coming into the chat. So just bear with me if I have to scroll around and take a minute here and there. So let's start with this one here. This was from Mohinder. He was saying, could you advise on exactly what content we can amend to make it our own in your PLR packages? How much, I think he meant to say, if any PLR content do you recommend, changes 50% of the content to make it my own, etc. And then the benefits of joining the membership program. So I don't want to make this too much of a sales pitch for Tools Motivation membership. Some of you are already members already. Others, it may not be what you're looking for. So I'll touch on that, but we can discuss that after if you're really looking at it seriously. Let's focus on the actual question here. What content can we amend to make it our own? Well, really the answer is the whole thing, and you really should alter all of it. So here is, as an example, I'm going to make this a bit bigger. I've pulled up one of our packages here called The Things You Say. This is a self-talk type of program. If I go to it here, I believe it's this. Yeah, it's this package here. If you go to Tools Motivation and just search for The Things You Say in our shop, you'll see this product here. So it's got a lot. And by the way, just so you know, at Tools Motivation, we have 3 styles of product. So this would be the higher tiered, sort of high end, what we call a full product. And in our full products, you're going to find premium content, which is material that it's kind of designed for you to sell or put as part of a sellable course or framework. But we also include web publishable content for your blogs and social, as well as lead generation material. And then it kind of scales down from there. So a full product, the price is usually higher. The content bundles, if I go here, we just published one today, for example, called Secrets of Motivation. This literally just got published to the store. If you're a member, the download just got pushed there now. And if you're non-member, then you can buy it, or you can wait a couple months from now. We'll likely do a special offer from it or for it. These content bundles are lower in price and they have less content. But the idea is with content bundles is that you have stuff that you can publish publicly. So we have audio material, we have articles, reports, social stuff, slide decks, and all these things are fully web publishable, meaning you don't have to charge for them. They can live on your blog, they can live on social pages, you name it. So going back to Mohinder's question in terms of the what's the right amount to customize, or what can you customize? And the answer is all of it. So if we look at a standard Tools Motivation full product, which is the one I had on the screen there, that was the $177 value. it's broken into 4 main sections. And it's really, I could really almost repackage it as 3 sections, because section 3 and 4 are almost the same. But just bear with me for a second. I'll just revisit it here for those of you that don't know. Premium, again, this is designed for you. Anything inside of here is designed for you to sell. So if you're selling ebooks directly on your website, great. If you're selling audio programs, perfect. If you have courses that you sell or coaching packages and you want to take elements of this, take a piece of this and a piece of this and put it into your coaching program or put it up on your membership site as part of a larger package, even better. It's all designed to be premium, where people are paying for it, or at the very least, you're giving it away privately to subscribers. It's still premium in the sense that people aren't going to find it on your blog, for example. So for your question, Mahinder, the idea would be that you alter everything, or as much as you see fit for your business. So for example, the things you say ebook, I'm going to just pop open the preview of it here in a PDF format. Really what you'd want to do is open it in Microsoft Word if you're on a PC, or Pages if you're on a Mac. And then you would want to read through this. So this is a whole ebook on the power of positive self-talk. And it goes through a series of chapters. So why we're negative by default, how negative self-talk holds us back, and then how to use positive self-talk, and so on. So you'd want to spend whatever, an hour or so, half an hour, whatever it takes you, how fast you are at reading, read through the way our ebook has been written and put together. Decide what you like and what you don't like, what needs to be amended or changed or enhanced. I always tell people, and in fact, Pamela's on the call. We were just exchanging emails before I went live. We were chatting a bit about making things your own and kind of looking at this as art. You'd want to see this as your starting material and then kind of treat it like a piece of art. Like, what do I want to do to make this my own? There's a section here on, let's scroll down, on how negative self-talk holds us back. And it dives in to the concept of negative self-talk. You may reach a point, let's say 1 page into this chapter, where you have something yourself to say about the topic. You might tell a story about a time in the past where you used to be locked in a mode of negative self-talk, and it caused you to experience these 3 or 4 negative results in your life. And when you flip that script, or when you learned how to maybe interrupt those patterns of negative self-talk and change them to positive, you experience some kind of transformation in your life. You could tell that story in the context of this existing PLR ebook, and now you have a customized ebook that is completely unique to you. If you do that several times throughout the context of one of our PLR ebooks, and maybe you're removing a few of the things we have here and there, maybe adding some of your own concepts here and there, the whole thing wouldn't take you all that long if you have something to say on this topic. But now at the end of the day, when you press save and publish that thing as a PDF, now you know this is a 100% unique piece of content with your voice and the style of advice that you want to give to your audience. And you would want to do that, Mahinder, for everything that you see fit in this entire PLR package. So as an example, some people like to use our graphics and then publish the book as it looks like this. So let me pop this one open. Literally how our design team has built it. They take this exact graphic, they save it as a PNG, they upload it to their WordPress site or to their shopping cart system or whatever, and then this would be the graphic used to sell the product on their website. Other people would prefer to take the editable Photoshop version, which is flat like this, and have a designer on their team make some changes. We actually have a tutorial. If I go here to Tools for Motivation, we haven't, I'm going to pop it into the chat, and if you're watching on the recording, I can get this to you later. This tutorial will actually teach you how to swap out that image on an e-cover. So let me just paste this in for our live attendees here. So swap out a PLR, and Ted literally walks through in this video using a free tool called Pixlr. And this example uses an older product, but it would literally be the same example as this, where maybe you don't like this guy standing, sort of this shadow figure here on looking over the water. You want it to be something else in the background. You could merge in your own thing, or you could move things around, make the text bigger, smaller, maybe change the title. Maybe you don't want it to be called The Things You Say. Maybe you want maybe you want to call it the power of positive self-talk, and then your subtitle here is something else, right? All of that is fully editable, top to bottom, in this entire PLR package. So again, it's up to you in terms of what you're using here. But I always recommend that you do make at least some changes, because other people will purchase a license to this just like you are. The benefit of PLR is you're getting, if I start expanding all of this out, look at the amount of content you're getting here that someone else has already taken the time to design and edit and tweak and then re-edit. Like, we have an entire system and a whole bunch of people that build all of this, and it costs thousands of dollars. This package alone would cost us probably around 2,000 plus, probably between 2,000 and 3,000 to get all of it developed. When you think about the writing, the audiobook recording, this one also has an enhancement with video that's not showing here. I have just the main piece, but there's a 5th folder with all the video content. So you have to look at the trade-off. If you're spending full price, which many of you don't even have to if you're in the membership, or if you've got a special offer from us, you're getting all of this for, let's say, $50, okay? And it would have cost you $3,000 to build it from scratch. Now the trade-off is you've got to do some changes to make it unique. So I would spend the time to make any components that you're using from this at least a bit unique to you and your brand. Make sure it's got your branding in there, your URLs, maybe a link to any kind of help page or social pages that you want to promote. For any piece that you pull out of here and publish, I would customize it at least a little bit. Okay, I'm going to pause just for a second because the chat window is really moving a lot. So I want to just quickly look at some of the comments that are coming in here. All right. So let's see here. I'm just going to read a few that came in. Karen saying, I didn't think the question was so much which of these pieces of PLR am I allowed to customize, but rather how much do I need to change each piece before I put the PLR out there. You're right, Karen. I think I kind of hit it for the most part. But yeah, my answer was it will pretty much remain the same here, in the sense that I would suggest you at least customize some of it. But I've seen people that don't, to be honest. I have customers that will literally take the ebook as is, save it as a PDF, maybe they'll collect the audiobook with it, and publish it in their membership site. The members pay an X amount of money per month, and they are promised a certain number of downloads of learning material. And that could be it. So you don't have to. I was just giving my personal recommendation on, if you're going to be publishing this content, a rough amount that you'd want to change. Okay, there are a lot of questions and comments in here, so I'm just going to take a second to read them all. Okay, Donna's saying it would be so helpful to have images in a format that doesn't require special software to edit. Now, Donna, I'm sure you asked that question as I was going through my big, long explanation that I was doing there. If you mean the e-cover graphics that are specifically for the ebook, then yeah, I hear what you're saying. I mean, there's going to be, at least at some point, a tool required to change them. The complexity of those tools will be up to you. The example that I shared in my link was Pixlr, which is free. There are, I think I saw somebody else mentioning Canva. So you could actually create your own graphics from scratch using a platform like Canva. Did I lose all my windows? No, I didn't. So Canva, this app here, it's free. You could definitely build your own graphics using this kind of platform from scratch. There's certain types of mock-ups and cover art available, I believe. But yeah, there are some limitations there. So I think hopefully between the link I sent out for swapping out an e-cover image and maybe just pointing you in the direction of trying Canva, that gets you somewhat started. What else here? I see Greg's offering to help. Thanks, Greg. That's great. Let me just keep going through here, guys. Sorry for any delays. Is this tutorial for members only? No, not at all. So that's a good question, Lauren. If you go to toolsmotivation.com and then hit our training link at the top here, all of the tutorials that I'll reference today will be available publicly on our training blog here. So this one should not be password protected. You should be able to get here just by clicking that link that I had sent, by all means. Now, there are some premium trainings that we only will publish to members, but it's very few and far between. So if I'm mentioning it here on the webinar, it's likely free. And if it's not, I'll make sure you get a copy at least for being here on the webinar. An example of personalization on the audio, we could do a personal intro followed by the audio and then a personal call to action at the end. That's an awesome suggestion, Jeffrey. And we actually have a tutorial on that as well here. Oops, audio right here. I'm going to pop this one in here as well. So I created this tutorial called Build Custom Audiobooks Using Done-For-You PLR Content, where I'm literally doing what Jeffrey is suggesting here. I take it a little bit further in terms of using the tools to do it. So I'm going to paste that in. And if anybody wants to try that when we get into audio customizations, you might want to try that out. And I'm just going to get caught up here. Okay, Makenda's saying when you change the ebook, then you have to change the audiobook. That's correct. Because the audiobook as we record it is literally narrated verbatim from the ebook as we publish it. So if you're going to be changing pieces of the text, then those pieces of the audio would need to be changed. So that would be a bit of a pain. I can't really think off the top of my head how to do that quickly. The one thing we have done with our audio books in the past year, I'd say, is we've split them into chapters now, whereas it used to be one long MP3 file. Now we kind of break it out based on sections, so you'll at least be able to identify the section of audio that would need to be changed. However, now you're going to be narrating the new piece in a different voice. So if you're going to be changing the text and you want the audio to go with it, you're likely, in a real world scenario, going to need to narrate your changed text, I should say, into a new audio. Let me just grab a drink here. Okay, so and personalize the audio in your voice. Yeah, excellent, Christian. What can you use to record the audiobooks? So feel free to pop in anyone else here. Maybe people have answered. On the Mac, I use GarageBand. You can also use Audacity. There are other audio recording apps out there. So I would just experiment, maybe do a YouTube search. Helen's saying TFM membership is one of the best investments I've ever made in online marketing. Wow, thanks, Helen. That's amazing. That's great. It's a great advice or a great piece of feedback for us here. Do we need to, or is it okay to get ISBN numbers for the books or ebooks that we modify? I can't really say off the top of my head what you can do there. I don't know what the regulations are for ISBN. We certainly don't restrict you from doing that. However, you have to keep in mind that we're selling you a license of a product or a book that many other people will likely end up owning. So the average, if we do a full launch, we're selling at least 100 copies of one of our products. So there's at least 100 other people with the same ebook as you. So before you do anything like getting an ISBN number, you'll need to definitely rewrite and make sure it's 100% unique. And then you'd need to look up the stipulations for what is required to register for an ISBN. That's pretty much all I can say on that. If you want to take that further, just send a question into the help desk and we can dig into it a bit deeper. Cool, looks like people are chatting about some stuff here. Okay. There's more and more questions coming in, so I'm going to just pause the chat, looking at the chat here for a sec, because I want to get back to the questions that were sent in advance and close those off, then we can keep going here. I think I mostly hit what Mahinder was getting at. The benefits of joining the membership, I'll get into at the end if there's time. Otherwise, just check out our membership sales page on toolsmotivation.com. Just click membership. There's a video there. You can decide whether or not it's right for you. And you can always send us in a personal question. We're happy to look at helping you make that decision. We certainly don't recommend the membership for everybody. It has to be, you have to have a way to use all of this content and make it work for you. If you're literally just getting started, having our PLR membership might be putting the cart before the horse, but not always. We'll have to take a look at each individual scenario here. Okay, so Pamela was asking how much of the content needs to be changed to pass Google's plagiarism test. My plan is to make significant changes, but it would be helpful to know the numbers to guide me in how all of that works. So this is a great question. And this is about the concept of duplicate content, which if you have been on any previous PLR webinars, we do get into this. So when you look, if you actually go and look at the Google terms of service and some of their Google Analytics documentation, they basically, they talk about duplicate content as people that are deliberately duplicating content to game the search engines. That seems to be what Google is most concerned about. They don't want people trying to trick the search engine so that they can achieve favorable ranking. When you literally look at duplicate content just through your own eyes and just looking at the facts and the evidence that are online, I've seen tons of examples where multiple websites literally publish the same content. This is very common in the news space, as an example, where one article will be released by like some central news agency like AP, and then all these other news blogs will literally syndicate that article, but they're all indexed in Google and it's literally the same article. So I haven't really seen any evidence to me to suggest that having a piece of duplicate content will cause you to be banned or not ranked in Google or on the YouTube channels or whatever, or YouTube searches. But to me, it's sort of a deeper question in the sense that if your goal is to have sort of longer term, high quality searchable content that people will find through Google searches, let's say by finding a blog post or a YouTube video, then you're probably going to want to invest time to making that piece of content completely unique. In other words, if your goal is to get lots of pages indexed on Google and you're just simply buying PLR articles and publishing them as is, then you're probably less likely to achieve that result versus maybe starting with a PLR article and then making a bunch of changes like I was suggesting in my ebook example, where you're commenting on it, or maybe you're taking a paragraph from the article and running with that by sharing some of your own stories and ideas so that the end product is a unique piece of content. That's probably the way you want to go with all of this. So it's definitely a great idea to publish content on a regular basis that can be indexed by Google, or if you're creating videos, can be indexed by YouTube search engines, which are also showing up on Google searches. But I would personally change a lot of it. Having said that, I have seen people publish PLR articles directly as is, and it ranks in the search engines. So I would just say, change it as much as you see fit, experiment with it and run with it. Hopefully that kind of addresses it. Now, in terms of the member area, I've been looking at the member, there's an amazing amount of content I feel I've been giving. I feel I've been given a kind of art medium with which to create my own works of publishable art. I left this in because I thought that was an awesome comment, because I actually published a training maybe a year or two ago, it could be longer, I can't remember exactly now, called Content Creation Art. And it really is, to me, a great example of thinking about PLR. So for example, like this is the slide deck I'm using right now. I often will use slides. Now you could go to Google Slides, you could use Keynote, you could use PowerPoint, you could even use Canva, which I mentioned earlier. They have presentation slide deck formats. And just one slide like this in a slide deck can kind of become your canvas for creating unique pieces of content. So for example, if I want to go back to the things you say here, and let's say I want to publish some kind of unique piece of content here, I could grab, let's not use the e-cover. Let's grab a graphic from this Pinterest section here. What is this one here? These are personal freedom. I'm not sure why it says that. Treat yourself gently and patiently. I like that one. It's a nice inspirational thing. So I'm going to take this. I'm just literally dropping this pre-made PLR graphic right into my slide. And then I can go over here and let's say we've got an article. So this article is 4 steps to change your self-talk, probably is my guess. And we can pop this open. My computer fan is just going off. So hopefully it doesn't crash. I'm not sure what's going on here. All right. 4 steps to change your self-talk to be your ally. That's pretty cool. So we could grab that headline pop it over here into the slide. We'll make that bold. We'll change the size. This isn't exactly what I would do, but you can see here very quickly, I can start using this slide just as a canvas and start building these unique pieces of content, which to me is the power of PLR. It's, you still want to inject your own creativity into it, right? And I could put another graphic right here, whatever. But it is really, I love that analogy, because you're kind of looking at this thing as this is your paint. You're coming in here, you're scrolling through the folders. You know, I'm trying to put together an inspirational piece for my followers, you know, inspiring them to really work on their self-talk. I want to catch I want to help them catch themselves when they talk to themselves negatively in their own minds, and help them switch that to a more positive, empowering type of discussion that's taking place in their head. And I can do so. I can create hundreds of pieces of content just by scrolling through all these different folders and getting creative. So it can be a form of art for building content just by kind of scrolling through what we're delivering to you here. So I just thought that was kind of cool. And thank you, Pamela, for asking that question. And hopefully at least touched on the main things you were looking for there. Happy to discuss it further as well offline. So, and we'll get to the third question here, and then I'll go back to the chat. The third question was from Shade, and there's actually three. So is there a method of purchasing and selecting PLR which I am missing? Now, this was with regards to just finding PLR from our store to buy, but I'd abstract this even further, and I would say, if you're looking for a method of purchasing PLR from any vendors that are out there, I would just start with the people that you've had a good experience with. It's like shopping for anything else. So if you've had a good experience with us here at Tools for Motivation and you're on our mailing list, then in a relatively short period of time, you'll likely see us recommending some of our favorite PLR sellers who complement our business. So I would just start making a list of people that that I'm sharing as an example. And maybe if you have a good experience with them, look at who they're sharing. There are several groups on Facebook that you can join that talk about PLR implementation. And you can network inside of there and get some recommendations. There are about maybe 40 PLR vendors that I kind of network with and we do business together. So I'm happy to recommend, and you can at any point you want, send a help desk ticket in and let us know if there's a specific type of PLR you're looking for. So if there's a topic you need or a style, like, hey, Justin, I'm really looking for you know, video-based PLR on X. Ask us. We may be able to hook you up with the correct vendor. And we'll always recommend somebody that I've at least bought from or done business with in some capacity. And then you can just start building your network that way. It's not a very big community, so it wouldn't take you long to at least be aware of who the top sellers are and where the best content is. How do I edit the MP3s and MP4s for PLR? Is that by me doing a voiceover? So earlier I mentioned the concept, and I think it was Jeffrey that was saying that you can edit MP3s by voicing intros and outros to the PLR. If you just want to use the existing PLR and make it a bit unique, that's sort of my go-to answer for that type of questions. But if you're actually talking about the technologies to do it, not SoundCloud, sorry, GarageBand on the Mac and Audacity on the PC are the top two. And then for videos, there's things like Camtasia and Windows Movie Maker. On the Mac, there is ScreenFlow, which looks like this guy here. So with ScreenFlow, you're literally taking video clips and you can just kind of work with them in this interface to edit them. So I could easily bring in a PLR video here and make changes to it. So I don't really want to get into a low-level demo for that question, but my answer to you, Shade, is that between customizing the PLR yourself by voicing over your own text, as an example, you buy one of our ebooks, you make some changes to each chapter, yes, then you would want to voice it over yourself using whatever technology you feel is best. In terms of editing existing PLR, you'll want to find the correct tool for your environment. If you're on a PC, there are certain tools. If you're on a Mac, there's other tools. I'll leave it at that for now because it could get a lot deeper and more techy. So for now, we'll leave it higher level. And then are there some people you can point me to help with designing my online course creation and launches? So earlier in this session, I pointed out this, which is a a training that I did with one of our partners, Chad Fullerton, called how to create or it's basically how to create a self-help course using a collection of quality PLR products. I would actually suggest you start here in terms of getting the education to understand what it takes to build a course, at least at a functional level. A course really is a collection of folders on your computer that you will then deliver to a student in the form of modules or weeks or chapters or whatever you see fit. This will help you kind of understand from high level to low level what a general course structure should look like. And then I have this guy here, this link. This is a training that the same partner, Chad, did called How to Set Up a Storefront and Publish a Digital Product for Sale on Your Website. This is an example of, and you could do this with a course as well, so it could potentially answer your question. Chad actually walks through how to set up a product for sale on a website. So if you want to do the same thing with a course, you could follow this free tutorial and try that using, he uses WooCommerce in this example, so I'm going to paste in the link. But those are just a couple of examples to get you started. In terms of if you need an actual person to help you, if you want to hire a consultant to get you started on that, then I would reach out to either Chad Fullerton, who's on the first link I sent, or to our partner, or sorry, our senior manager, Nigel Booker. I'm not sure if he's on this call, but he's actually involved in our current launch, which is this guy here. Achieving Inner Peace. So I'm not sure at the time of this recording, this is our current special offer. For if you're a member, this will be posted in the members area this weekend. I'm going to paste this into the chat as well in case anybody wants to check it out. So what Nigel did here was took some of our content and he repurposed it into Canva templates. So to kind of come full circle here for Shade's question, Nigel is somebody that could help you, but also you might want to look at the combination of those two previous links I sent plus this just to see all the different flavors that you have for customizing content. In the example in this latest one here with Nigel's repurposing on Canva, Canva is a great tool for creating courses because you might want to have a handout that looks a certain way or has a certain visual appeal to it. And Canva can be a great tool for helping you build handouts for your students. So just take a look at that, and hopefully between those few answers I gave there, it sort of addresses what you're looking for there. But if you really want someone to actually help you design a course, I'd start with Chad or Nigel. Okay, so I'm going to just come back to the chat here because I see it's been moving a lot, and I just want to make sure I don't get too far behind here. All right. Nadine was saying you can buy ebook templates on Etsy or Creative Market, and then you can customize it to you. That's what I do. Excellent suggestion. Thank you, Nadine. And then Garth is saying you get a narrator inexpensively on Fiverr, Fiverr.com. Excellent tip. We've actually found some great voice actors over the years on Fiverr. Typically, it's a good way of testing the waters too. So you might want to go to Fiverr and hire somebody to do a like a 30-second voiceover. And if you really like it, you can start working with them. You can negotiate like a larger deal with them for them to narrate a whole book. If you're doing personal branding, so if you're the name and face of your company and you're using this material to help you create more books that you're publishing for your readers, I'd recommend you narrate it in your own voice. Just because, first of all, you're going to save a lot of money. Second of all, you can get this material out quicker. If you get good at narrating text, you could take an ebook from Tools for Motivation and narrate it into an audiobook in a morning and have a totally ready to go audiobook with a very small time investment. But now it's branded to you, your voice. And if you want your readers to connect with you at a deeper level, now they're hearing your voice, they'll probably be more likely to buy a higher ticket or higher tier offer from you if you want to make that kind of connection with your audience. Now, some people don't do that. Some people prefer not to go the personal branding route, and they'd rather have sort of like a corporate branding where it's not them, it's just, the company name or the logo, in which case hiring a voice actor would be just fine. So great tip there from Garth. Thank you. Fiverr is a great site if you can find the right resources there. Question, will you be narrating future products? I like your voice the best on product narrations. Possibly when there's time. We're moving so quickly right now in terms of how much content we produce. Just for a bit of context here, we started Tools for Motivation with basically our original output was 2 content bundles per month and 1 full product a month. And that was a full-time job. And when I could, I would voice those over. We've now more than doubled that. It's basically triple that now, where we have 4 tips reports per month, 2 content bundles, 2 full products, and one of the full products has a full video media audio suite. So basically, we take the full product itself, and then we create this giant suite of audio and video add-ons to it, which in itself is a massive undertaking, which if it was me doing it, it would take me days. So I've got many other parts of the business to run. So when I can, I do, but unfortunately, it's just not something that is really something I can do right now with the pace our business is moving at. But I do appreciate that you like my voice. There was one of our courses called the Success Rituals 4-part video course, where I narrated the videos and then we exported them as audio. I recommend that course for almost everybody because even if you just put it privately in a membership site and leave it in my voice, it takes care of a lot of very popular personal development topics, and you could totally charge for that course. I see people charging for less all the time. So you could quite literally take that course, put it up somewhere as part of your overall suite of offers, and make money on it, as long as you have an audience that's looking for motivational style content in any regard. I don't care if you're a personal trainer, you're a therapist, you're whatever. Like if you're helping people make transformations, they could use that course. Okay, question for Justin. Some 3-4 weeks ago, my wife enrolled your free course on creating a course based on PLR. Is there another edition of this course? It was a material to study and then a live session of Q&A. Okay, so this is from Christian. That was a course called Prod Create. And it wasn't actually, it wasn't starting with PLR. It was literally a course where I taught people how to create a digital product based on their life experiences. Now, if you are savvy enough to use PLR to help you with that, that's fine. But yeah, so if anybody is looking for access to Prod Create, please send a help desk ticket into Tools for Motivation and just mention that we were discussing it here on today's webinar, and I'll have somebody get you the information for that course. But absolutely, the course is actually done now. The 3 Q&A sessions are done, but we're building it out. We're going to have more live sessions as well. That's separate. But I should mention that if you are a member of Tools for Motivation, you're getting that entire course for free as well. It will be sold. The sales page isn't done for it yet, but it will be sold as a $500 course. So that'll be included in your membership if you're already a member. You don't have to buy it. Okay, Makenda's saying, I use the content to create my course, Overcome Loneliness in Tough Times. I changed the book cover, workbook, and added it to my catalog. The possibilities lifestyle.com. So far the response has been well, and I'm still learning. Thank you for this program. That's awesome. Let me just pop that, if you don't mind. I'm just going to go right to that in my navigation here. Let's take a look. So this is, here we go. I just have to clear out some windows here. Can't see everything. Only Overcome Loneliness in Tough Times. So that was actually one of our more recent releases. If you take a look at our catalog here, where'd it go? We have Overcome Loneliness. This guy here. Is this the product? Yeah, this would have been the one you were using, Makenda. So here's an example of one of our customers, Makenda, who took this package and created her own product right here, Overcome Loneliness in Tough Times. I'm not sure at first glance what the platform here is being used to sell it. Now it looks like is there a sales page, or is it just a checkout? Oh, maybe I had to click there. Gotcha. So you are using it possibly for, oh no, you got to create an account. Cool. Okay, so let me just go back here. I don't know if you can actually view this a full sales letter or not, or if it's just part of something larger. But at any rate, I don't want to go into it too much, but thanks for sharing that. It looks like you're able to at least create another product in your overall growing catalog here. And this is a perfect example, right? if you are trying to sell digital products online to build your brand, then taking one of our PLR packages and adding it as another item in your suite of content is a great way of doing it. Like for us, we have this portfolio that's growing every week with 500 plus products. The larger it grows, the more options I have to offer customers as bonuses, as new products for sale. One of the lessons I get into is the power of building strategic bonuses into your offers. So if you are promoting someone else as an affiliate, it's a great revenue generation opportunity for your company, and you can make way more money with affiliate marketing if you have bonuses. PLR can be a great use for that. But also if you're doing your own launch, just attaching a bonus as like a short-term thing, like, hey, if you buy this weekend, we're going to give you this bonus. Having products to do that can really increase the volume of sales that you make in short promotional windows. So for example, it looks like, McKenna, you've got another option here, this Living Triumphantly program. If you want to do a larger promo for this, you could potentially throw this item in for free on a weekend special, right? And I'd suggest making your prices more obvious here on this page, but I can take a deeper look at this later. I'm just kind of glancing at it quickly here. So yeah, good for you. That was awesome. Let me just see if McKenna came back. Yeah, my first courses were for my books, and then I found you and add more content that was relative. Excellent. Okay, great. So I pasted in some stuff there. Okay, Tammy was saying, for making videos using your own voice, VidNami, VidNami, it used to be called Content Samurai, is easy and works great if you have a good microphone. It is membership based, you have to pay, but worth it if you do a lot of videos. So that is a great tip. Thanks, Tammy. I actually I wasn't aware of that one. I kind of think I feel like I've heard of Content Samurai, but yeah, one thing about what I do with in terms of my role in this company that I'm building here is we've got a set of tools, and I've been using them now for several years. So I've stopped looking outside, and I'm potentially missing great advances in technology for things like that. So that having a session like this is great for keeping me up to speed. So if anybody has examples of videos they've created using VidNami or other type of platforms, I'd love to see them. Just curious to see what you're able to do with it, the kind of flexibility. But just to kind of just touch on another thing that Tammy said here, having a good microphone is so unbelievably important. So I'm speaking to you right now on a Audio Technica, let me see the number on it, ART 2100. I bought this mic, it's got to be 6-7 years ago now, but the audio quality is better than some new mics. So I happen to find a good quality mic, spent a bit of extra money. It's full write-off for your business anyways. So just spend the money to get a good mic. And if you're doing any kind of content-based marketing, or you're creating products that are digital in nature, maybe educational nature, where you want to have video or audio, invest in a good mic, because you will use it over and over and over again. If you're doing webinars, if you're doing podcasts, creating video, like Tammy was saying, is just such a good investment. I can't recommend it enough. Helen's asking where you can contact Nigel. Nigel is actually one of the people on our help desk. So I would literally submit a ticket there. And if he's not the one answering it, then Melody or myself, anybody that's on there, can forward it to him. But he's a phenomenal resource. He's been working with us for years. If you've been looking at our launches lately, so not just like I was mentioning earlier, the launch we're running this weekend for Inner Peace. I don't have it up here anymore. But that whole funnel was built by Nigel. He built the sales page, all the buy buttons, the whole thing. So it flows nicely. We do well with it. So I highly recommend it, getting in touch with them. Okay, Pamela's saying that using Audacity is very easy. I use it all the time, and editing is easy. That's awesome. I've tried it a few times. I didn't really spend enough time to get good at it, but I found a relatively similar results. For me, GarageBand on the Mac has been super easy as well, so that's cool. McKenna was saying, please give that name again, the success of, oh shoot, that was a few minutes ago. Sorry if I missed that. McKenna, maybe just come back to me here and remind me what you were looking for. I think you're talking about success rituals. Yeah, it was the success rituals. Look that up on our store. It's a video course. And if you don't find it, just let us know at the help desk. And Trish was saying, can you repeat the course you mentioned before, Prod Create? I think that was probably the same one, Success Rituals. And that's a video course. Rita, can you show us how you change the cover of books that we purchase? So that was the link I sent out earlier. It's this one. Oh, where'd it go? It's the swap out an e-cover. If you scroll up in the comments here, swapping out an e-cover, or you can go to the training blog here and just search for swap e-cover. You'll find it there. I don't want to do a demo of it here live because I actually would probably completely butcher it. I do zero graphics work. Ted and Nigel do most of it for our company. We have some people that we hire to do our key graphics as well. McKenna's saying I already talked about that comment. Michael, I love Content Samurai, plus they offer seamless voiceovers. Okay, that's good. So we have another vote for Content Samurai, which was Vidnami. And Christina's saying you should have a resource page of your company tools. I signed up for ScreenFlow. You could have gotten an affiliate referral, but I didn't know. Okay. Yeah, we actually had a running blog post for a while that we just kind of let it slip. We didn't keep it up to date, but that's good. All of this is logged in our chat logs here. I'm going to be reviewing this in our team meeting on Monday. So thanks for making that comment, Christine. I think you have a point there. We probably should kind of keep track of all the things that we use. And then Christian's saying, how about using Spin Rewriter to customize the written content? So this is a good question. Spin software, from what I understand, I've never used it personally, but I think you can basically feed it in text like a blog post or an article and have it spin it to kind of create something new. In the examples I've seen, now this was several years ago, the end product didn't always read so great. To me, it felt like it was machine generated. So I never really looked into it much. I always err on the side of investing a bit extra time or money if I need to hire someone to rewrite the content versus trying to just spin something to get it done quick. Because I always think of the end user. Like most of the marketing content that helps us get customers at Tools for Motivation is very customized stuff. Like our training blog, all these lessons that I've kind of been linking out and sharing, these are all personally written and created by me. So I don't really, there may be the odd time where I borrow a bit of PLR, but for the most part, I'm writing these posts from scratch and they take me quite a while. And then if you look at, as an example here, how to organize your PLR, I wrote the blog post and then I'm also embedding a YouTube video. Look at the title of the video, how to organize your PLR content to keep track of blah, 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 right? So this piece of content is getting indexed in Google, and then the video itself is getting indexed as well. And then we pick up a following on our YouTube channel. We've got several thousand subscribers now. I think it's over 2,000. And we get a whole bunch of just organic traffic from individual YouTube videos. Those videos I spent a lot of time just building, not worrying about traffic, but literally just trying to provide a quality piece of content and answer to somebody that asked a question. And then just being patient over time, knowing that if one customer asked this question and I invested the time to give a good answer on a video and publish it to YouTube, correct, naming it with descriptive keywords and tagging it correctly, over time, it will hopefully find other customers with a similar question that will drive traffic to our business. So if you look at our YouTube channel, some of our videos may have like in the tens of thousands of views, but most of them are like 100, in the hundreds or maybe the thousands. But it's high quality traffic because it's people that were looking for something specific. They watch my whole video. And I've talked to several people that literally just watched one video on YouTube, clicked through to our website, thought, oh, cool, PLR. I never really heard of this before. They browse around and then they buy our membership just because it was a good quality YouTube video that started them down my kind of rabbit hole, right? So I would just stick to quality content. It was kind of a long-winded answer there. All right. Let's see here. Can you repeat which mic you use? Yeah, I'm just standing up here to look at the back of it. It's the ART, which is Audio Technica 2100. Several year old model, but Audio Technica works well. I've heard good things about the Yeti mics. There's lots of blogs out there about podcasts. podcasters share their favorite mics all the time. So the one thing I will say is spending lots and lots of money on a mic doesn't always mean it's going to sound good. So you might want to do some reviews. There's people that will actually record samples and you can hear. So maybe just take a look around. I have another mic here that is probably twice the price of the one I'm speaking to you on now, and I never use it. It was a complete waste of money. Okay. And just people talking about microphones. And then Randy's saying I did a lot of research on mics for a podcast and recently bought a pair of Audio-Technica mics. So it looks like Audio-Technica is getting a lot of votes. People are talking about the Blue Yeti mic here as well. And then how to use it. Cool, everybody's talking about mics, that's cool. Pamela's saying, this is an important comment. When you write your own words, your own voice comes through just like in audio, which is an extremely valid point, important one. Thanks, Pamela. I think it will apply to most people here. Most of the customers that come to Tools for Motivation, at least in the conversations I've had, which has been hundreds of conversations, it's mostly people like me that are doing personal branding. You're the one, whose name is on that book that you're publishing on Amazon. You're the one who's giving those coaching sessions or delivering the keynote addresses. Well, now they're Zoom addresses, or the one speaking on those membership videos. So it is a very good idea to write your own stories into the content or to inject your own examples. Even back to my first example about positive self-talk. Maybe you share an affirmation that you use in your life that's worked for you. That's a super detailed piece of content that will connect with that reader at a really deep level that only you can do. That's super unique just to you. So I really do believe in that. And I'm glad Pamela is echoing that. Bob saying Heil PR40. I imagine that's another mic. Heil PR40. Jan saying the thing is you always offer high value content, free or paid. It's the main thing that keeps people coming back to Tools for Motivation. Thank you, Jan. Yeah, I think and I've seen it the same type of approach with a lot of our customers. It doesn't always have to be loads and loads and loads of content. It's just taking good care with each piece of content you develop and taking a long view, patient approach. Just say, how can I build this business over the next 10 years? How do I need to conduct our operations on a daily basis so that over the next 10 years, we're going to build something really cool. I think that is generally a great way to approach it. And then you'll create customers for life that way. All right, more mic discussions here. And okay, so Chucks is asking, maybe you've already answered this. Where can we get good voiceover artists that are affordable? Yeah, I believe, I forget exactly who answered it. It might've been Michael or somebody else. It was Fiverr.com, Fiverr.com is probably the best place to start because you can buy little $5 gigs, although I know the gig prices have gone way up since it first launched. So you may have to spend a bit more. That is a good place to start though. And compare it. Compare a few different ones. If you can test out a few artists for $5, $10 here and there, then it allows you to test the waters before investing a whole bunch of money. So for example, when we outsource our audio, we're spending thousands of dollars. You don't want to do that unless you know for sure the kind of quality you're getting. Yeah, so hopefully that helps. Okay, we've got another question here. What are the tools recommended for editing ebooks on a PC Windows 10? Usually just Microsoft Word. I see people using Google Docs or OpenOffice. I don't know if anybody else has options that they want to talk about. But just traditional word processing like Word. Don't overcomplicate it. In our packages, we include 2 different styles. So for example, here we have this ebook for the things you say. Where'd it go? Why is it doing? Oh, those are the e-covers. Let me just minimize that. Sorry. We have the text-based version like this, right? So you could open this up in Word and just do whatever you need. Microsoft Word's as good as anything else. But we also do the enhanced ebook, which is graphically enhanced for you. So it's very similar. There's footers that are colored and then there's images dropped in. But it's not much different, really. Could you do this with Word? Yeah. Could you do it with Google Docs? Sure. Keep it simple. Don't overcomplicate it. And just by the way, these images that you see here, in case you haven't seen it before, we grab them from Unsplash. And if you go here to unsplash.com /@toolsmotivation, I'm going to put it here in the chat, /@toolsmotivation /collections. There, you will find all the graphics that we use for our products, as well as just general curated graphics sorted by topic. So for example, and Ted's done like a huge amount of work to do this. Ted, for those of you that don't know, Ted's my business partner. So we've been running Tools Motivation together. We're both co-founders of the company. We started our PLR business in 2010. So we've been doing this for over a decade. So yeah, he organizes all of the designs for each product, and then we kind of sort them by topic as well. This one collection alone will save you a lot of time. But if you just want to enhance the look and feel of something, I would grab graphics from here. Unsplash is all free graphics, commercially available. You can use them in paid for products. You're not going to get hit with any kind of licensing issues that you would with other imaging sites. So that's very cool. Let's see here. Somebody was saying something that I wanted to mention. Okay, maybe the links aren't working. I'll look at that in a second. I think somebody was, Rita was saying, I sometimes have trouble opening the enhanced ebooks. We have had a few, you're definitely not the only one to say that. I definitely remember a couple of tickets coming into our help desk for that. So I would have to take a look specifically at your scenario, Rita, if you're opening it in Word or potentially another word processing platform. We may have, and it may be specific to each product, but for the most part, they're designed to be able to open in Pages and, or at least on Word. So if you have Microsoft Word, you should be good to go. If you're using a different one, then maybe that could be part of the issue. So just let me know there, and we can let us know at the help desk. I might have to take a look at that one specifically for you. But yeah, if it's Word, it should be working. So we might have to look specifically at why that's happening. Michael's saying, love the value you added with this Unsplash collection. Thanks, Michael. Yeah, Ted's idea years ago, and he just kept it going. And we have so many people that use this. I think this one page, like our portal here on Unsplash, has been viewed like millions of times through their own network as well. It's just a nice collection of images. And the graphics that you find here, or at least the images you find here, they're so high quality. I mean, you could use this for any kind of design that you want. If you've been a customer, you probably recognize, like this one here. I can look at this one and I know for sure this was our Personal Freedom e-cover. Anyway, lots of cool stuff here. I like even just grabbing one of these graphics. We use them for our internal affiliate. Basically, when we deal with our affiliates, we have a Facebook group letting our affiliates know about upcoming launches, and we grab graphics right out of here as well. So we use it for all kinds of business processes, not just our content creation. It's pretty cool. All right, so I'm just going to take another look over here at the chat. This has been a lot of great questions. I appreciate everybody popping in. Randy was saying, I did miss this comment earlier. Randy was saying that Upwork might be another possibility for finding voiceover services, or really any kind of outsourced service. And that's a great point. I've used Upwork. We've had decent success with it. Quite honestly, outside of like voiceover type stuff, but if you need, like, if you ever need help with like writing, editing, techie kind of stuff, almost all of my best resources, the contractors that I hire, 9 times out of 10, they come through personal referrals. I ask people in my network. I ask other online business owners who I've bought from or who I've partnered with. And I almost always find someone just by asking around versus hiring randomly on some kind of site. That's just my personal experience. And I have hired contractors on those sites. I just tend to find, I don't know, I have a lot of good luck just asking for referrals. That works really well. So you can always ask us too. I'll refer you to whoever I can to the best of my ability, get you what you need. Some of my resources won't always be the cheapest, because now we're at a point now where we're producing a lot of content, and so we're doing different types of deals with people, or we've like upped our standards, let's say, for example, for video-based content. So in the past, I may have used a Fiverr gig, which was kind of slapped together, whereas now we're paying significantly more for somebody that's better at video creation. So it kind of has to slide to your budget as well. All right. Cool. Looks like questions are slowing down here. We're at about an hour. I don't want these to go too much longer than that because I want it to be digestible in one session. We can do others as well. And yeah, just keep popping into the comments while I'm live here, guys. Pop in any other questions that you have. But also, if you're watching this on the recording, please do send in some feedback in terms of what you like and didn't like about this style of session, or if you have future questions that you want me to address. I likely will organize them a bit better, so I'm not just hopping all around from question to question and running and missing maybe things because I'm thinking too quickly. Maybe have another host on with me to keep things in order. But it's just nice to have this, right? We can all chat together and kind of grow. People, it looks like all the comments coming in here is people saying that they like it. So there is a question saying, okay, Makenda was saying, appreciate you. I'm trying to figure out how to organize everything, but the content is awesome. So do check out, Makenda, that one blog post here when you go to training. There's one here at the bottom of the first page called How to Organize Your PLR Content to Keep Track of What You Own. That's a good start. There isn't really a right or wrong way to do it, but that may help you. Momo's asking, do you provide sales copy? Oh, actually, that's a really good question. So the answer is no. A lot of PLR providers will pre-package a sales letter and include the HTML and all of that. And we don't do that. We did in the early days of Tools for Motivation, and we did it with our previous PLR company. And then we stopped, and then we took the budget that we were spending on that, and we redirected it to some of the new features that we've been adding in recent years. Things like audiobooks, things like advanced social graphics, where you have options for Pinterest, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and so on. Those all cost money. So instead of building sales pages, we directed our funds to building more content. And the reason for that was A, we polled our audience and most people wanted more content versus a sales page. And B, the reason that very few people were wanting sales pages is because what I was talking about earlier and what Pamela was kind of reinforcing is that most people change the PLR from its natural state that we package it in. Not a lot of people will take the things you say book right here, save it as a PDF, and just publish it literally as is. They'll do something with it. They may customize it to write a longer book, or they may bundle it together with 3 other PLR ebooks and create a larger course. Or it might become one piece of content in a larger membership site. So at the end of the day, 95 out of 100 implementations of one of our PLR packages is no longer the ebook the way it was originally packaged in our product. So to write a sales letter for a product in that state just helps so few people in our audience. So we stopped doing it. And that was just a decision we made company-wide. It may be a feature that you need, and so other PLR providers might be better for you in those scenarios. We just thought, and so far the feedback's been guiding us to continue going down this way, to just provide more content and allow people to create their own sales letters as they see fit. If you're part of the Prod Create training, which if you're not, you can hit our help desk and ask. That training actually has some additional tips on writing sales letters, including a template for helping you write copy. So that might be something to take a look at there. Pixabay is a cool for free pictures, Alexandra's saying. That's a great tip, actually. And Pixabay has a plugin for WordPress so that you can grab, if you're doing a blog post, let's say you're taking one of our PLR articles here from this positive self-talk package, and you're taking this article and using parts of it as a blog post, like maybe you're taking these 3 tips here and publishing them as a blog post, you could paste that text in and then use the Pixabay plugin to insert an image. And now you have a totally unique blog post done really quick. That could be like a 5-minute exercise. That's a great tip. Thanks, Alexandra. And all right, Ari's saying, I've enjoyed this greatly, learned a lot from you and other attendees. Awesome. Sheila's saying, thank you. Mandy's saying, thank you. Great, great value, very practical and actionable. Perfect. That's exactly what I want it to be. At the end of the day, I really would like to see everybody implementing our PLR. I'd love to have lots of examples like Makenda was sharing earlier, where people are actually selling stuff and generating revenue for the business. That's amazing. Lisa saying, enjoy this. Jeffrey, keep them going, learn a lot from me and attendees. Cool. So it sounds like the community aspect is working well for people here. Pamela, thank you, Justin. This was helpful and I greatly appreciate that it was not a sales webinar. No, I don't do too many of those. Even when I do, it's usually a lot of content and a very short sales pitch at the end. In fact, I worked with a webinar consultant a few months ago and he gave me a script to follow and then the whole project fell apart because I had too much content in it and not enough sales and I just didn't do it. So yeah, I don't really work well with the traditional webinar where it's sell, sell, sell. Having said that, if you did get value from this and you're not a member yet, I do highly recommend you look at it because Prod Create, that new feature we're adding, is a massive feature that's coming in. And we're actually shutting down our membership for the summer. I don't know the exact date yet because we're redesigning a lot of things. So during that redesign and re-architecture phase, it won't be available for sale. Okay, so let's see here. Makenda's saying thanks. Trish is saying love these. It makes being new to PLR not so daunting. Yeah, absolutely. And it can be overwhelming when you get all this content. It's like, what am I going to do with it? Maybe just pick one of the things I shared today. Or I definitely recommend checking out a webinar I created called How to Save Time and Make More Money in Your Business with PLR. I'll actually have to dig that one out. I don't remember exactly where it is. But if you want it, let me know at the help desk and I'll send it to you. That if you're new to PLR, that one will give you my best sort of 8 to 10 ideas for newbies. Okay, Felix is saying, what you charge for your products are not expensive at all. Tools for Motivation is amazing and very worth it. Thank you. Thanks very much, Felix. Really appreciate hearing that. We do that. That's very encouraging to hear. I try to make it a 10 to 1 kind of rule. So like if you're spending $10, I want it to feel like you've spent 100. So if people are getting that, then I think we're doing it right. I highly recommend you do the same for your sales. It works well. I feel encouraged to explore TFM training resources. Thanks a lot. Thank you, Christian. That's great. Makenda, can I watch this in a replay? Absolutely. I'll be publishing this likely on the training blog, actually, or in our training area. We have a premium training section on the shop here. So if when you go to store and you drop down here and see training and education, we have paid training. So this webinar may be listed there. I don't know exactly what we're going to be doing with it, but either way, you'll be able to watch a replay and you will not have to pay. Okay. I love Pixabay, but didn't know about the plugin. Yep, try it out. It should still be available. I saw it last year. Momo saying, question, when will the replay be available? I logged in late and missed the first hour. It'll be up by Saturday, so a day after the live session. Tammy saying, thank you so much for all your information videos. Excellent. Thank you, Tammy. Garth saying, excellent session. Thanks, Garth. Randy saying, thanks, this was helpful. I didn't know about the training resources on your page. I've only bought and downloaded a few packages. This is helpful. Thanks, Randy. Yeah, absolutely. That training blog, honestly, I can't even count. I've spent hundreds of hours producing the training content on there. And almost every single post that's on there was inspired by a question, just like the ones we're getting here on this webinar. If it's something that a customer asked and I feel like at the time, if I felt like other people could benefit from the answer, instead of just answering it in the help desk, I would create a video. So most of the stuff you're going to find in there are common questions. Thank you for the resources is from Margie. Jan saying Prod Create is awesome. Thanks, Jan. I'm glad you think that. I'm really excited about the direction of that course. Garth is saying you are in fact selling with great content and by answering questions. Thanks, Garth. Yeah, that's the goal. If everybody leaves this webinar and buys all of my stuff, I'm okay with that too. but I'm also okay if you don't. If you just take time to learn and then later on, through an ongoing relationship with me and reading my emails, maybe that's when people decide to buy too. I'm okay with that. I'm not going anywhere. I love this community with you as a leader, Justin, is what Alexandra's saying. I'm happy to be here. Thank you, Alexandra. Appreciate that. Oh my goodness. Okay, there's 25 more comments. I'm probably not going to read them all. I'll look at the questions here. So Christian's saying one more question. How should I price my ebook course? Is there any pattern of how a 1747 or 197 product should look like? What needs to be included and what not? Wow, that's an amazing question. And right away, my gut answer would be there isn't really a pattern. other than the perceived value and what you think it's worth to that customer. Having said that, in certain niches and models, the buyers have come to expect certain things. So as an example, if you go, like, even in the PLR world, this weekend we have a sale running for a content bundle. Our price range on that is usually, you know, $17, $27 range with the type of features we're offering. So I'm not going to suddenly start charging $47 for it, but I know that because of other offers. And I also look at the market. There's other PLR providers that sell X amount of content for roughly that price range. When you go on tiers, so let's say, for example, a $17 versus a $47 product. In my mind, and I'll look to what other people comment here as well, a $17 product is more going to be like a single idea, a single problem, single solution, let's say like a short report or ebook. Whereas if I'm spending $47 in the info publishing space, info marketing, then I may expect a short video series or some kind of private members area where there's a bit more access to you or to a Q&A or to a community at $47. However, I've spent $47 on a PDF, but the PDF was a very specific guide on how to write sales copy from a copywriter that I admired. So I didn't mind spending $47 because I saw the results he was getting in his business with his style of copywriting. So it all depends on how you position it and what the perceived value is. So for example, for us, just to be like, just total transparency here, like take a look at this. So Pivot's $127 product. We will not sell, we'll sell a few of these at $127. Would we sell one per week at this price? Probably not. But when we first launched this and we priced it at $37, the contrast in the price saying this is going to $127 at the end of the sale, but you can get it for $37 now, allows us to convert it at $37. So is it a $37 product? Is it a $127? I don't really know. You can't buy it at at 37 anymore. So if you want this, you can either buy it or join our membership. So for us, it's a pricing model that allows people to kind of do a comparison. So I would say it all depends on the context. I want to go deeper with this question too, Christian. So I'm going to go back to it in the chat logs and perhaps comment on it further, because I do have some sales funnel videos where I talk about price structuring as well. I go a bit deeper, and I might do some future sessions as well. So I'm going to kind of leave it at that because I won't do the question justice in a short answer right now. So sorry if I didn't answer it in full, but I'm more than happy to discuss after the fact. Okay. Let's see. Yeah, I think people are saying they'd like to have another webinar. Okay, you know what? There's a lot of comments here. I want to read them all, but for the most part, I think we've handled most of the questions. I really thank everybody for joining. I'm going to stop here. And what we will do is we'll take into consideration how this went. We'll look through all the questions. Any ones that didn't get answered, we'll make sure we get those out in a follow-up session. The replay will be available. And I encourage everybody here live or watching on the replay to come back and join us for future ones. And then we'll look at maybe expanding this. It looks like a lot of people are enjoying the interaction among yourselves as a community. So maybe we'll have to look at ways to enable that online, either through a Facebook group or something like that. So I do thank everybody. This has been awesome. I really appreciate those of you who've attended live and helped really fuel the content here. This has been great discussion. I look forward to doing more of these, and we will chat soon. Thanks, everybody.